write in questions and I answer them on a live stream in real time. This week, we are talking all about how often you should be posting on Instagram on your main feed to accelerate your growth on the platform. So we had a great question come in from Lydia this week. She says, thank you so much for this information. She sent it in on my newsletter that we sent out this week. Can you do a YouTube video on optimizing one's reach on Instagram? So I immediately popped back with an email because recently I've done strategy for 2021 for this year on how to grow on Instagram with the current algorithm. So I sent her a list of 5 different videos that you can check. I've got them linked down below for you, and you can grow your Instagram that way. But I want to talk a little bit specifically about how often you should be posting on your main feed, because since the time that I posted it, this has actually changed a little bit, and it's actually going to be different than what you think. So how often should you be posting on Instagram on your main feed to grow? So I'm not talking about stories. I'm not talking about your live streams. I'm specifically speaking all about you growing from your main feed. So you have to remember, your main feed is what people are seeing when they are following you, and this is what is discoverable. So when people go over to that Explore tab and they're searching through hashtags, this is where they're finding your content. How often should you be doing this? Now, up until recently, I was saying once per day, you should be posting on your main feed to get people's attention and to grow your business. Once per day, every single day per week. That has since changed. I have reevaluated based on the current algorithm and what it takes to actually grow on this platform. It's more than once per day. Now, beforehand, I had been saying once per day for most people, and then if you're in the entertainment industry or the entertainment side of things as opposed to the educational side of things, it should be more. So if you are just getting people's attention and doing cool things and keeping their attention because you're entertaining, maybe post 3 to 5 times per day on your main feed. And then if you're educational, once per day. This has changed because think about this. When we are posting to Instagram, our goal is to grow. Our goal is to help our followers, and our followers are only seeing so much of our content because of the way the algorithm works. The algorithm is picking the content that they think each individual user is going to want to see the most. And so if they've been engaging with your content, they're going to see more of you. But if they haven't been engaging with your content, they're going to see less of you. So now our goal needs to shift just a little bit. Yes, you need to be taking care of the people you've got, but if you want to grow, you need to get discovered. This means you have to pay attention to things like the hashtags you're using when you're posting. And we're going to talk about all of that in just a second. But you need to be posting enough so that more people are seeing you. So now I have revamped what I am teaching, what I am educating, what I'm implementing in my businesses and in the businesses of my students. And I'm saying 3 to 5 times per day on your main account is going to get you more traction than once per day, and way more traction than once per week. Why is this? Because this is giving people the opportunity to discover you. People are following hashtags. They're searching through things that they like. And when they do that, they're going to go over to that recent tab. And if they see you once per day, that only gives them one opportunity to see you per day. If somebody is on at 7 a.m. when you post and they see it, but they're not on later on during that day, they're not going to see anything else from you. So let's just say you're posting at 7 a.m. and that person doesn't get on until 3 p.m. You're missing out on that audience. So the goal here is to really give your current audience good, valuable, share-worthy content and beautiful visual content, but more so to give new people the opportunity to discover you over on that Explore tab. So let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about this, because right now I know a lot of you are content overwhelmed. You're panicking. You don't know what to post. Don't worry. I got you. We're going to take care of this. This is not nearly as scary as you think that this is going to be. So here's the deal. Reels count if you're posted to your main feed. So we're talking photos, we're talking videos posted to your main feed. Reels absolutely count if you post them to your main feed. Your IGTV videos count if you post them to your main feed. All these things you can send to your main feed. Everything that you're doing does have the ability to be sent over to your main feed. And so anything you post on your grid does then get kicked out with the hashtags that you're using. So your hashtags are incredibly important. We'll get to that in a second. So you want to make sure you're posting 3 to 5 times per day. So that means if you're posting one really pretty photo per day, you're good. Then add in a reel per day. Already that's 2. Now you don't just have to have visual content. You can expand what you are doing. So right now, the key is to get discovered by creating shareable content. So let's talk a little bit about this. When it comes to creating that shareable content, you want to be creating, yes, pretty things, things that are visual, things that look nice, things that get people's attention, but are people going to engage with stuff that's just pretty? Gone are the days of Instagram just being a pretty place to put photos. Now people are stopping to watch reels and videos. They're engaging with your live streams. They are looking for more than just a tiny little bit of content. And if they don't interact with it, if they're not leaving comments, and if they're not, and this is the important part, if they're not sharing your content, you are losing that engagement rate with people. So you have to make sure that you are creating functional and shareable content. You want things that people will message to their friends. You want things that people will save on their Instagram page. You need to create content that helps them in some way. So yes, a beautiful photo is nice and it's visually appealing and it is what people look for, but to have functional, shareable content is going to be better. So I want you to do a little mindset shift right now. It's not just pretty photos anymore. We need to adopt more of a Pinterest vibe mindset when it comes to creating our content for Instagram. You want things like quote graphics. You want things like tutorials. You want quick, short, little videos in your reels that educate and or entertain. You want real slices of life when it comes to your type of content. And you want something that people will be able to share. So an inspirational quote from you, from somebody else, whatevs. Make sure you credit people properly. You want to make sure that you are educating on something or a step-by-step guide to do something. You want to make sure that you are giving them content that they can either save to learn something later or to do something later or to share with somebody. So think about when you go to Pinterest. You go over to Pinterest and you do expect to see pretty graphics, but more so you're looking for it as a search engine. You're looking for recipes. You are looking for fashion ideas. You are looking for makeup tutorials. You are looking for things to help you solve a problem, like how to melt the snow off your stairs in the winter. You are looking for something on Pinterest in a very clear and concise, easy to understand way. So yes, it does need to be visually appealing, but that doesn't mean you have to like do a full out photo shoot for 5 times a day to post on your feed. So you want to make sure it's cute looking, but more so it's functional. Things that people can in effect pin or things that they can share with people. So you are looking for content that they want to save. Inspirational quote graphics behind the scenes of your life in business, things that they can use to grow their businesses, all those things. So you want to make sure that it is shareable content. You have that almost Pinterest-like set for that. Now you also need to make sure you are posting at optimal times for your fan base, because again, with the algorithm, remember, you post and it shows your post to your followers, people who are already following you. And then based on their interaction, their comments, their engagement, the way that they're saving things, the way that they're sharing things based on how they are engaging, then they are showing it to more people. So you're not going to get very good reach if you don't have people there and ready to go. We talk about this in a lot of my videos. You can check all of those out, but you need to learn when your people are going to be on Instagram and post at those times so that's more likely for them to see it. Then based on that, you're going to raise higher and higher and higher in the Explore tab feature. Remember, everybody goes over to recent. So when you are using hashtags, you do get kicked over to recent, but that tends to go pretty fast. If people see you on the recent tab and they're engaging with you and you get more eyes on your content and more engagement on it, then you're going to get kicked over to that higher standing where you're going to last longer in the Explore tab and you're not going to get buried. So you need to make sure you are posting when people are on and when people are around. So your current existing fan base should be there to engage, but also what you're trying to get as a new fan base should be there and engaging and looking at Instagram at that time. Do this multiple times a day. Remember, we're posting 3 to 5 times per day. Sometimes it's quote graphics. Sometimes it is going to be tutorials. It's going to be step-by-steps. It's going to be a pretty graphic. And it doesn't just have to be a pretty graphic. Now, visuals that impress are going to be helpful. But also, if you are being impressive with this, people will share it. So if you have a really gorgeous photo, yeah, somebody's going to share that. And if your quote or if your caption goes really well with that, that's even better. But your visuals should come second to the content you're putting out there. As long as you are being helpful for people and you are giving them really good, strong content that they can learn and grow from, that is going to make all the difference on Instagram. Again, gone are the days when it was just about a pretty picture. It doesn't have to be about a pretty picture anymore. So use those quote graphics, break things down, quote yourself from a video. Let's say you are creating really good videos and they're going really well on your socials, TikTok, on Facebook, on whatever. Take a quote from it, take a little line from it, put it out there. Do something to repurpose it. It doesn't have to be brand new content every single time. You do want to make sure that you are growing as you are going with this. So you do not have to just take a bunch of pretty pictures or a bunch of videos every single day. Learn something new. Try something different. So I am actually going to encourage you, and you don't have to do this, but I am going to encourage you with something I'm working on too. Learn things like stop motion. You don't have to be in the photos. You can just kind of move a product around and people will be impressed with that. Learn more along the lines of commercial photography and videography. So you want to do like a commercial for your whatever product it happens to be. So let's just say as an author, I would take my book and I would maybe spin it around in a stop motion and people would be impressed by that. They would share that. Maybe I am paying attention to TikTok's commercial videography TikTok section. And they're doing things like taking coffee and they're spinning the coffee beans up in the air and then they're spraying all over the table and then it's magically turning into coffee. It's a little bit of a higher production value, but it's really cool and it gets people's attention. So you don't have to go out of your way to do all these cool things, but if you do something cool with video tricks, transitions in your videos, all those things are going to get people's attention and that will get them to send it to other people. You want to create something that is going to make people stop to look and then send it to a friend to impress them. So pretty photos are great. Engaging or interesting videos going to be very, very helpful. And they don't even have to be like high production quality videos. You can create words that run across screen. It could be like a little slideshow. Please don't use it like a photo slideshow. That is so 2001. But if you create like a really good quote, you can do a static image, just like a graphic of that quote, and then a couple days later use the same quote but animated. Do something to get people's attention and you can keep recreating the same things over and over and over again. It's not all about the visuals. Make sure you have a very strong caption. People are going to share your content even if it's not pretty if the content is good. So if you have really strong content in your caption, that is going to get that kicked out to more and more people as well. Now, as you are posting these things, you want to make sure that you are using your hashtags. If you need help with your hashtags, you can go over to hashtag.kmrobinson.com. I got a guide on what hashtags to use inside of your business and the number one offending hashtag that you're almost definitely using that's killing your reach and what to use instead. You want to make sure that you are using low to medium range hashtags, especially when you're posting this, because again, in the Explore tab, you are not going to be seen in those really big, massive hashtags. That goes really, really fast. People aren't going to scroll for very long. So you want to stay higher on the recent list, which means you need to use lower level hashtags. And if you want a video on how to do hashtag research, let me know. I will be happy to do that in another video. I've got some cool tools and resources, so let me know if that's something that you actually do want to see, and you can grab the hashtag guide from me. It's free for you guys, just hashtag.kmrobinson.com for that, so that you can build out what you're doing inside of your hashtags. And again, you can use the same content, just repackage it in a different way. So for me, when I'm creating videos, if I find a video that works, I record the same video again in a different outfit in a different location. Sometimes I'll change a line or two, but if it works, why are we trying to reinvent it if something works? So if you find something that works for you, every few weeks, put it back out there again in a different way. Just repackage it a little bit differently. Or if you've got a really good concept that you're talking about, then write a really good caption and post it with another photo. Or turn it into a quote graphic, or turn it into like a stop motion thing. Like, you can do so many things with the exact same topic, so you're working smarter, not harder, and not recreating content 3 to 5 times per day, every day for the rest of your life. You can just create really good content and then reuse it in different ways. If you have more questions on how to grow on Instagram, I would love to get those answered for you. Go ahead and drop those in the comments below. And make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell for more help on the Instagram algorithm. We are continuing to grow with it. As we said, the algorithm is changing. This is very different than when it was even a few weeks ago. So I am keeping you on top of your game when it comes to Instagram and the algorithm so that you can grow your platform. One more time, you need to be posting as many times per day as possible. Keep it stretched out by a few hours. So once you post, wait an hour or two and then post again. Throughout the course of the day, you're hitting a different audience every time you do it. Mix up your hashtags so that you can be found in different parts of the platform. Make sure you're posting when your audience or potential audience is going to be there to engage, and then make sure you're really dialed down with what people can share with their friends. That is going to be the most helpful thing that you can do. Quote graphics, tutorials, education, behind the scenes, interesting visuals or videos, making sure you're doing transitions and things like that. Anything that's going to get people's attention and make them stop the scroll, say wow, actually read your content, and then send it to somebody else or save it for themselves, or better yet, engage by leaving a comment. That is what's going to help you to grow. The more often you can post like this per day, the more you're going to get seen and the faster you're going to grow. So this really comes down to you deciding how fast you want to grow. If you want to grow slowly, post less. If you want to grow quickly, post more. And make sure you're doing it strategically. So if you need more help, I've got lots of videos on Instagram down below, and we'll be back next week answering more of your questions. So please drop them out. Any videos, email me, DM me, send those in, and we're going to continue to answer your questions in the community tab as well. Thank you all so much for joining me. We will be back on Friday with a brand new video all about how to grow on social, create more profit inside of your business. Until then,